Hello, everyone. It's another episode of Tailgate Talk with your hosts. It's me, David, along with Nikki Two Step and Joey Mayo. Boys, side of the people.
Hello.
Happy
Howdy.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's the best week of college football. It's hate week. But before we get into that, let's get into a little bit of some coaching updates. Confirmed now. The actual contract is out. James Franklin to Virginia Tech. That's happened. Have you guys seen the some of the details? I was talking to my father-in-law about it, and he was pointing out like there's some cool incentives in place with his, whereas Virginia Tech does better, they're actually going to put money back into the community, back into the program. Like I think if they win the ACC, there's an X amount of dollars that then goes right into new facility updates that automatically triggers as part of his contract. I just thought that was kind of cool how to like try and improve the program by incentivizing that success
Yeah,
and then having
so
to go
I don't
back through like the board again. It's part of the contract. It's already been negotiated.
another cool thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, but yesterday, if you guys were watching like On Three or any like those major like recruiting pages on social media, he's also flipped quite, it seems like what's quite a few Penn State guys that were committed to Penn State's program and brought is bringing them over to Virginia Tech. And yeah, it's a small win, right, in the grand scheme of things, but these are 4 and 5 star guys that I don't think Virginia Tech is getting on a year in and year out basis. And it just shows how I think loved James Franklin is as a recruiter and a head coach in this sport. So I thought that was really interesting too. Like he's stealing a lot of these recruits from Penn State. And then on the flip side of that, like whoever does eventually take this Penn State job is really gonna might have to start from scratch if he keeps doing this because they're gonna walk in with little to no recruits, big time recruits that were committed there before. So I thought that was interesting too.
The risk of getting rid of your coach, that a lot of these guys they're committing not really necessarily to the university, but to the coaching staff, to the people who recruited them, and you know that James Franklin's probably going to try and pull in as much of his coaching tree that he wants, or the guys that he wants as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do see some guys that are like assistant coaching roles and that kind of stuff from Penn State making that jump over to Virginia Tech as well.
A lot of people are talking about Terry Smith as the possible next head coach. I don't really know much about Terry, but I feel like it might be a little bit of a letdown for what Penn State might have been aiming for when you could have just had him all along, but you were big fish hunting. I don't know. I feel like this whole Penn State uh, head coach candidacy has been a whirlwind, a roller coaster, if you will. And I feel like they've waited a while when they could have just offered their guy because now we're seeing other head coaches take jobs on top of what we've already talked about with other coaches getting extensions. So
Yeah, I think that most of the cause for the Penn State opening being still vacant is most of their guys that they really wanted to go for now, like Joe kind of briefly mentioned, they're getting extensions. Like Clark Lee just got this morning got an extension at Vandy. Matt Rule got an extension at Nebraska.
Big Daddy.
Yes, and Signetti got extended at Indiana. Most of the guys that you would have thought were like, oh, that's who Penn State's going for, they're re-signing at their current schools, and it's like if you're Penn State, you're kind of now you kind of have to. It feels like they have to settle because I mean, who really can you go for with Golish from USF going? I think rumored for which job was that again?
Or he's taking the Arkansas
He's
job,
taking the
allegedly.
Arkansas job. You got Eric Morris at North Texas going to Oklahoma State, which we can get into a little bit. That's a great hire. Um, and Summerall is probably going to go to Florida if they don't get Lane. We'll find out more about Lane tomorrow. But if you're Penn State, like you really, I feel like you have to settle now, and that's really not like I was all for the James Franklin firing, but they should have had their contingency in place where like they could have just announced it right away and not been in this position.
Yeah, not again, not any criticism on Terry. I think Terry has done a hell of a job as their interim. I just I feel like
You don't
they
fire
could
Franklin to hire one of his assistants.
cur
That's just not
typically
that's
typically
not what
that's
you
how
do.
yeah, typically that's not the contingency, but we'll see what happens with that. But I do want to get into Eric Moore's job. Like I think he is I thought he was me personally, I thought he was one of the better candidates on the market, and I thought he would have been plucked by way bigger of a school, like way bigger of a name, I guess, of a program. But Oklahoma State has gotten a guy in this era of college football, one of the biggest pieces that you can land and you can secure is a quarterback, and it kind of all takes off from there. He is a quarterback whisperer. He's had John Mateer, Cam Ward, Baker Mayfield, Pat Mahomes, now Drew Mestamaker. Like he's had all of these guys who were very, very good, and most of them under recruited and turned them into stars. And I just think that him going to Oklahoma State, I think you're going to see like Drew Mestamaker, who was a freshman. You're going to see that running back that they had that was absolute like cinema in the backfield. I think you're going to see him possibly transfer into Oklahoma State. Like a lot of his team, I felt like was really young, and I think he might be able to take some of those pieces and bring them with him to Oklahoma State and set them up for immediate success compared to what they have had the last 2, 3 years. So I'm curious to see how that program changes because he could go in there and kind of take it at the helm and be a contender in the Big 12 in his first year.
Yeah, no, I think that was the best hire they could have had. Um, I do feel a little bad for North Texas because now their entire roster is going to be gutted.
Yeah.
But for Oklahoma State, you have however many years of Gundy. It's his program. It's always weird moving off of that guy to get someone as experienced in developing the quarterback as Morris is. I think that's a huge slam dunk hire. Um, he has to bring in the right assistants to compete in the Big 12 because Texas Tech and BYU aren't going anywhere. But I do think that this is a step in the right direction for Oklahoma State to get back to the team that we know them as is like a perennial contender in the Big 12 that no one wants to go into Stillwater to play. So I do think this is a great hire for them.
Yeah, and I'm sure Gundy had some say on that hire because he's so trusted in that program and
Mhm.
he's so ingrained in that program that he had to have some say, and I'm sure he was probably on the board. And I'm sure he's going to kind of get like an assistant AD job. And with that assistant AD job, he would obviously be like on the board to decide that and make that
Right.
decision or be a part of that decision.
100%.
So, and then Alex Golish to Arkansas allegedly is, I don't know if it's like finalized yet, but I mean, good for Alex Golish. That's a big time program in the SEC. I'm curious to see how that all winds up with Arkansas. I mean,
Arkansas's got
well,
such a tough job because you're
you're
in
in
the
the
SEC,
SEC,
but you're not an LSU, you're not an Alabama, you're not a Georgia.
and the
You
money that flows into that program apparently isn't as good as it should be. So I'm curious to kind of see what he does there
They got to
to
tap into
buy
the
in.
Walmart funds.
Yeah, I'm
I mean, the
curious
thing
to
is
see
that
if he can tap into
in
those funds.
they have been in so many one score games this year. Like the roster, I don't think is as bad as people may think it is. I think that they have to figure out how to when it's close, and the narrative of the season is completely changed. Maybe that's what they need with this coaching change is a little bit of a jolt in the system. But I mean, the thing is that Arkansas is a in the Southeast, it is a brand that still has some weight. It's kind of like Nebraska when they were in the Big 12, like back you go back to the heyday of college football, and those were two programs that people were like, yeah, you want to go play college football, you may want to go there. And it's like the branding has kind of shifted where now you look at Alabama and LSU's as the flagships, which they've rightfully earned, but you've still got, not nothing there.
No, I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think that that's what's interesting about it is like him as the head coach that he is and has shown to be the last 2 or 3 years when he's come on our radar. I think I can say like as a group. Um, and then the opportunity that is at Arkansas and with that job, I think it could go sky high, and I think it could go and be the same as what the floor was for Sam Pittman. I think it's a very interesting job, and you could argue on either side of that spectrum, but we no one really knows until he gets in there and we see what he does. That's why I think that job is so fascinating because I think it could be two totally different outcomes depending on the buy-in of the program, how he sells it, how good of a coach he really is at a non G5 level, and the recruits that he does pull in.
Sure.
Hmm.
Well, that's a lot of coaching stuff. It's still a lot to be kind of finalized. It'll keep changing. We'll keep y'all updated as we find out more on all that kind of stuff. But let's get into what this week is all about. Pure, good old-fashioned, unadulterated hate. Boys, it's hate week. We're here. It's rivalry week. It is my favorite week of all of college football. Who else is excited?
Yeah, I mean, especially it starts in a couple hours with the Egg Bowl. It's going to be interesting to see if Ole Miss can come out with all the uncertainty and deliver against a Mississippi State team who is a lot better than their record looks. Um, I love it. I'd love it a lot more if Clemson wasn't as hurt. I'm very worried for our game tomorrow in Columbia, in the cesspool, as we like to say. So it'll be interesting. Like David said, this is the best week of football in college. You got the game, you got the Iron Bowl, the Palmetto Bowl, the only game that's truly missing that I love is or there's two games that I wish were kind of, but I get the tradition wise is Army Navy and Red River. But I get they're done during those times for a specific reason. But I love it. I love all the rivalries, and I'm last year we got a lot of fighting, so I'm hoping that we kind of get the same because it's always electric when two teams don't like each other and they have to play each other.
Yeah, it's just awesome. It's just awesome because you get to see these kids who, in a world of college football where anyone can go anywhere and it feels like people are transferring in and out every year, you see a lot of this passion for the school that they play for and the fans that they play for. So it just makes for amazing TV, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the games I think every year speak for themselves. This is this is must-watch college football. If you are not sitting on the couch all day long watching, then I don't know what to tell you. It's
Yeah.
just it is the best week of college football. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into some games and make some picks. So first off, as usual, if I can figure out where my little buttons are, there we are. Um, as per usual, I had a crappy week. Nick had a pretty good week, and Joe, you didn't do so bad yourself.
Pretty
So the
good. I
standings
went
right now,
4-0.
Nick at 142 points, Joe at 130, and then me straggling behind at 113. I got to start making some moves, or I'm really
Hey,
screwed. I'm already
I
screwed,
will
but
I will say your strategy last week of picking against some of my games was a bold choice considering how much of a lead I have. Like if you're gonna make up ground, you know I'm picking winners.
yeah, it was a rough week for me, but I had fun, so it's okay. With that, we'll jump right into it. Nick,
Yeah, so Oklahoma LSU. I think Oklahoma is gonna be. I think it's in Norman. They're trying to solidify that at large bid. I think LSU is just kind of. I mean, they're not. They were in a dogfight with Western Kentucky. That's really all I have to say. Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, for me, this Texas Tech team is one of the teams I said like one of the five teams I think has a realistic shot to get in and do some damage and possibly win a national title. So give me Texas Tech minus 23.5. It's very simple.
Uh, I'm picking a dog here with Michigan. It's in I think it's in Ann Arbor, right?
It is in Ann Arbor, and it's going to be snowing.
So that's partly it. It's that it's the Ohio State fading. I don't like Michigan either. This is a game that I'm glad Clemson's playing at the same time, so I can watch that game instead of this game because I don't like either of these two teams. But it's the game. It's at noon, high noon on Rivalry Week Saturday. Everyone knows when that game is. Go watch it because you don't. I don't know if you're gonna want to watch the Clemson South Carolina game on the CW network at this point.
No, it's in Columbia, so it's on the SEC network.
Yeah, I was trying to make the Cartoon Network joke, but I messed up my words. So move on.
Yeah, across the board, I think we can all just say that Louisville is much better than Kentucky. I'm surprised that it's only a 3-point spread. Is the game in Lexington or is it in Louisville?
I'm not sure, but I know Kentucky's been playing some good ball as of late, but I don't think it's good enough to kind of be a favorite in this game.
It is in where is it? It's in Louisville.
Yeah, so I don't agree with this. I think Louisville should be like a 6-point favorite. So give me the points.
The live line now is back down to 2.5.
Oh, hammer it. Give me the cards. Birds have
Have
teeth
teeth
this
this
week.
week.
Yeah, I mean Louisville, great, great talent on their team. Like I said, I think Kentucky's playing good ball, but I think Louisville overwhelms it.
Yeah, Joe and I are gonna say the same exact thing. Charlotte sucks. They're so very very bad. Tulane's gonna roll.
It's really sad. I say this every week. They're the team that I go for when I get the new college football game every year and I rebuild them into a national title winning program. But in real life, they're one of the worst teams in the FBS. So I think Tulane's going to hammer them.
Notre Dame has one more game they need to win to pretty much solidify themselves a spot in the playoff. They're playing Stanford. They're 32.5 point favorites. Um, this is a when I look at this, I wish that I understand why Notre Dame's big rivalry games are earlier because all the other rivalry games are for those teams are this week. But man, if USC and UCLA weren't playing this week and you could have had USC Notre Dame here, I think that's the right magnitude of game to have.
Hot take: they should move the USC UCLA game to the middle of the year. That no one cares about that game. I feel like. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I'm not tapped into the California sports network, but um, like David said, I feel like there's more animosity between USC and Notre Dame, and that's what this week's all about. So that's just my 2 cents.
Joe will say nothing because he doesn't want to jinx his team.
That's exactly right. No comment.
I went with a little bit of a different pick here. I went with Maryland over Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State's very good at all, and the fact that Maryland's a dog here, it my senses are tingling. Like, just give me the Terps. It's disgusting. It's a no one should watch this game. It's going to be terrible football, but I do think Maryland wins this game.
Mike Loxley is back next year. Um,
What a
I,
program!
I I'm gonna take Iowa State minus 14. Oklahoma State doesn't have Eric Morris yet. They're one of the worst teams in the FBS this year. I don't even think this is a close spread to what it should be. Give me the Cyclones here.
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb here in the Iron Bowl. I'm going with Auburn over Alabama.
Is
I
this
just what?
Is it really only 4.5?
Yeah, it's low.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, you, Auburn has been an interesting team this year. They've been up and down. And
No,
again,
they're
Bama also has been up and down with games, and then you coming on late. I just, I think I'm rooting for a little bit more chaos in the SEC is honestly where most of this pick is coming from. I want to see a little bit more drama, uh, which they already have plenty of, in who's going to make the playoff, make their their conference championship, and then who makes the playoff. I want to put the committee in a spot where they're going to have to think long and hard if they're going to keep Alabama in it or not if they lose to Auburn.
Yeah, so just some insight on this game from like a base level knowledge as not one of these fans for one of these teams. I think it's so low, Nick, is because they think Auburn is like the worst matchup possible for Alabama. They have a guy who next year should be a top five pick at defensive end. I think they're predicting he caused a lot of chaos for Ty Simpson. And Alabama does not have a strong running game. And then obviously, even though they played Mercer last week, you had that five-star freshman come in and have like 600 combined yards and four touchdowns. And I think it is in Auburn.
It's in
I want,
Auburn, and the line has increased to 5.5 for Bama.
okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are taking Auburn and a lot of people are high on Auburn in this game, whether it be that they want to see the chaos or they are predicting the chaos to happen. But I'm staying far away from this game. I think this is just going to be a really good game, like it usually is. And I don't know if Auburn's as good as everyone thinks.
It's fine. I made my pick. I got nothing. I can't say anything this year. My picks have been garbage, but this
I'm
is
not
this is
hating
the
on
week they
it.
turn it around. We
I'm
are
not
in
hating
hate
on it.
week, and I am rooting for hate. That is what I'm doing this year. Is I'm rooting for hate.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of smart people take that pick. So I am absolutely not hating on your pick. I can't. I don't have the courage to make that pick.
I don't need to have the courage. I took my courage earlier with USF over Florida. Um, Really quick before we sign off here, great slate today, November 28th. Egg Bowl at noon. Good clean old fashioned hate at 3:30. Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
7:30. You got Texas A&M and M and Texas.
Yeah, are we gonna talk about that game? We want to talk about chaos going into the
If
playoffs.
Texas wins this game, there is going
They
to be a lot of scenarios that can
yeah,
make people
because
upset.
you're gonna have a 10-3 Texas team if they win today.
9-3,
No, I'm
but
sorry, 9-3 Texas team if they win today. Obviously, A&M would have to stay in, but do you put a Texas team in with three losses?
I don't think you can. I think 3 losses is. I know David's gonna go off on if a 3-loss team gets in. I think once you get to three, you're disqualified. Like you should max two. Three is too like three's too much. Like that makes the regular season mean something.
But I
Like
think that conversation is going to have to be had inside that room. While I agree with you, I do agree with you,
the
I
conversation
think
will be had, but I don't think that I if they put a 3-loss team in over BYU that only lost to Texas Tech, bless you. Maybe if BYU loses to Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game and it's a 2-loss, I mean still a 2-loss to the best team in the conference. Like I don't
well,
know
BYU's
if
on the outside looking in right now too.
and that's the crazy part. Like the fact that it's even a conversation is a little annoying. And I know David, this is
Texas is
gonna
gonna
set
lose.
David.
Don't worry about it, boys. We're not
Yeah,
even gonna get to that
it's a big
conversation.
game. Texas hasn't been good this year.
Yeah,
Um,
and then tomorrow we have the game, and then what else do we have tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Iron Bowl.
Oh, Iron Bowl's tomorrow. Okay.
Florida
Um,
State, Florida plays at some point in the day. Who knows when?
Florida.
No,
Yeah, I mean they're not
probably not
even showing
watching
up on
that
the
one.
ranked. Pitt Miami has massive implications in the ACC at noon.
I'll be tuned into that.
I'm looking right now. Vandy Tennessee at 3:30. Tennessee can spoil Vandy's season with a win this week. Virginia Tech also has a lot of ACC ramifications. That's at 7.
Yeah, so if Virginia Tech wins and
If
Pitt
Virginia Tech wins,
wins
that's the nuclear option.
and
That is the
Pitt
nuclear
wins,
option.
it would put I forget who it would put in there, but it would put like
Well, the
SMU and Pitt in.
here's the thing: if both of those happen, then what the championship game comes down to Boston College and Syracuse. Those
Yes, that
that
was the
game,
final one that
and
needed.
that game between the two worst teams in the conference this year will decide the conference champ and the playoff because I mean the highest ACC team is going to go in. So
You would think.
we're gonna have if Pitt, I want Pitt to win, and I want Virginia Tech to win,
Yeah,
so
I'm
we
hoping for
can get the
absolute.
college football playoff decided by Boston College and Syracuse.
I'm hoping for absolute chaos because that league has been nothing but chaos this entire year. So I hope it just continues.
This is the week for chaos. It's if there's no other week for it, really. Love hate week. As always, though, go Tigers.
Go Irish.
Go Tigers! Screw you, South Carolina.